Hello students, this is Mr. McAllen and this is our fourth way of solving quadratic equations, but this time we're going to do it by using the quadratic formula. So in this case, when you solve the quadratic formula, you must first get the formula so that it is in um, standard form. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. If you don't have it in this form, you can't use this formula. So the way you find roots using quadratic formula, the two roots, x1 and x2, because a fundamental theorem of algebra says that because you have a order 2 function, you should find two roots, is equal to minus b plus or minus, I'm sorry, this should be lowercase, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now this is for roots where you can't factor them easily and you don't feel like completing the square. So this is an alternative method. So what you can do is you just rewrite this problem as x squared plus 6x minus, make sure you do minus 25 because otherwise you'll get different roots, equals 0. And now you know your a value is 1 because the coefficient is 1 for that term. And b is going to be 6 and c is going to be negative 25. So we'll put it all together. I'll have negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 6 squared minus 4 times a. Oops. A is 1 and c is negative 25 all over 2 times 1. We want to simplify this. So I'm going to negative 6 plus or minus, simplify the information underneath the radical. That information is called the discriminant. And whenever the discriminant is positive, you have two real roots. When it's zero, you have one root, and when it's negative, you have imaginary roots. So that's something for another lesson, but just general information that you probably have heard before. So we have 36 plus 100 all over 2. So this is going to be negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 136 over 2. And now we have to simplify that radical so that we could get the actual root values, or you could just use your calculator. So I'm going to pause the video and we're going to simplify this in the next step. So you should try to simplify that. And we're not going to do the next problem because that's just a repeat of what we did before. But we should get the same root values that we did before in the earlier video. Okay, so I found the simplification of the root of 136, which was 2 root 34, and now I'm just going to divide out the 2. So I'll have negative 3 plus or minus root 34, which matches what we found in when we did this problem using completing the square. Hopefully, this helps you understand how to use quadratic formula to solve a quadratic equation.